Welcome to After the Chapter for Chapter 1 of The White Island. Do not listen to this video unless you have listened or read Chapter 1 of The White Island. It will spoil things for you, trust me. So, spoiler alert, don't listen until you've, read the book or listened to Chapter 1. All right, so there are 4 characters in chapter 1. First, we're in Mycenae, and we have Clytemnestra and Aegisthus. And then we roll into Ithaka, and we meet Penelope and Meryt. Meryt is a character that I made up for Penelope and to build a storyline in that regard. So, but let's go back to Mycenae. Let's start there. Clytemnestra. I put Clytemnestra and Penelope together in this chapter because these two women are often put as juxtaposed with each other. That, Clytemnestra is the one who's full of vengeance. She's cunning, but somehow she's a darker character because of what we know that she does, how she kills Agamemnon. And Penelope is sort of like the long-suffering queen, and she's loyal, and she's kind of like she's like good, and Clytemnestra's kind of bad. I don't know. So we've got these two different characters, and I believe in the Iliad, Agamemnon mentions something about Clytemnestra, kind of being a cold bitch, and she's not the loyal wife like Penelope was. So anyway, I thought it would be interesting to put these women stacked, Clytemnestra and Penelope, because they have a lot more in common than they have not in common. Clytemnestra is in a relationship with Aegisthus. This relationship begins after Agamemnon left, and I don't think she would have had a relationship with Aegisthus had Agamemnon not killed Iphigenia at Aulis. And depending on what version of the myth that you subscribe to, in my retelling, Iphigenia is dead at Agamemnon's order. So we're going with that one. Anyway, so she's with Aegisthus. He is a cousin of Agamemnon's, and he also wants to have revenge against Agamemnon for things that Agamemnon's father did to his father. Clytemnestra is a character who seeks out a lot of isolation because she's been so hurt. I give in book 1 of Song of Sacrifice of this series, I give us a little glimpse into Clytemnestra's relationship with Tantalus, and that I make that she was a lot younger. She hadn't been traumatized um, by marriage yet, and she was then taken by force by Agamemnon, who then killed her husband and killed her firstborn child. So she doesn't have a good experience in marriage, basically. So she's bringing a lot of her pain into that. She chooses isolation, and I think that would be realistic. I'd try to have my characters be realistic. Like, what would you do as a human being, So your husband kills your daughter, and how are you going to handle that? How do you move forward from that? She moves forward from that by isolating herself and by focusing on revenge. It's been 10 years now. So the chapter 1 drops us 10 years into when the men have been gone, and she doesn't know if the war's quite over yet. She's been getting premonitions though of Agamemnon. So if you know the story, the bloody face of Agamemnon and the knife clattering to the ground, that is definitely about Agamemnon, and the tall buildings on fire, that's Troy. She doesn't have any context of what she's seen, so she just knows it's related with Agamemnon, and that she fears that the time is fast approaching, that he's going to return home. And what are they going to do? her and Aegisthus have been planning for years, talking about revenge. And they know that in order to exact the kind of revenge that they want, it will have to be bloody. It will have to be violent and quick. Clytemnestra is starting to wonder and worry maybe if she can actually do it. It's one thing to talk about revenge, sort of romanticize the revenge that she wants. It's another thing to actually carry it out. So over 10 years, the sharp edges of that revenge have been smoothed over by time. So we have to find out how she's going to deal with Agamemnon coming home, because we all know he's going to come home. And this is going to be something we want to follow her with. Like, what is she thinking about, and how she's going to react. The other thing that I want to bring forward about Clytemnestra is that she is beginning to fear losing her memory and her connection to Iphigenia. And grief has a way of, when you first experience a traumatic grief, your brain just pulls up all of these images of the love that you've lost, whoever that happens to be. And grief doesn't really go away. It just sort of changes over time. And one of the things that happens over a long period of time, so after a 10-year period, your memories of people start to get like soft or fuzzy, and it's not quite as easy to like hold the image of their entire face or something, or a scene. It gets more, it just becomes more dreamy like. And memories do fade a little bit, so I wanted to like capture that for Clytemnestra, as she loves her daughter so much that her grief to Iphigenia is the only thing that connects her to her daughter at this point. And if you've experienced a traumatic grief, you know what I'm talking about, that you kind of hang on to it, because even as other people are saying, let it go, and you're like, no, I can't, because you just can't, because it's just embedded in your heart. That's your grief. And where did I see this somewhere, that grief was like where love goes when it doesn't have anywhere to go, something like that. But that is really a good description of what grief is. So she's afraid of losing Iphigenia, that her memories are going to completely fade away and Iphigenia will be no more. And in a time period when you don't have photographs, you don't have paintings, all you have is what's in your mind. And if you fear that those images are somehow fading, that's kind of scary. So that's Aegisthus and Clytemnestra's relationship. Also, Aegisthus obviously loves her. He, talks kind of, he tries to sneak in like the little love words in there, and she doesn't like it. She's just like, "Oh, don't do that. Don't talk to me. Don't say it to me like that." So we're going to see how that relationship pans out. All right, let's go to Penelope. Oh, Penelope. Penelope is a favorite character of mine, and her relationship with Meryt became one of my favorites as I was writing. Realistically, I think that Penelope's been alone. We know that she's going to be alone for about 20 years. She's been alone for about 10 years at this point. Is it realistic that somebody would never crave human connection or touch? So I went with maybe that's not so realistic, and that maybe it would be natural to, over time, after some years have gone by, that she would want to have just some sort of comfort, because she is ruling Ithaca just the same way that Clytemnestra is ruling in Mycenae. So she's got a lot of burden. She is raising Telemachus was a baby when Odysseus left. So she's raising a young son into manhood. She doesn't know if Odysseus is alive or dead, doesn't know if the war's over or not. And she is just needing in the beginning comfort, needing some sort of a distraction. And Meryt happens to be there. Meryt reaches for her. And so she just accepts that. And over time, she realizes that Meryt is much more to her than just somebody she, you know, sleeps with. Meryt becomes a true partner for Penelope, and I think that Penelope deserves that. And in this chapter, we have the realization that Penelope knows that, oh my God, I love this woman and I love her fiercely. I love her deeply. And she realizes that that is going to be a very dangerous situation that she's going to have to navigate. And we're going to have to watch her figure out how she's going to handle this love she has for Meryt when Odysseus returns, because we know Odysseus is returning. What's going to happen to Meryt? And Penelope's already questioning whether or not she's going to be able to let her go. And that we're going to have to see, we're going to see how that that happens. Can Penelope let Meryt go? Because I don't think Odysseus is gonna let her hang on to Meryt. Okay. Anyway, I think those are all the things I was gonna bring up. Oh, yeah, I think that's it. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and pop them down there in the comment section. I would appreciate it. If you like this After the Chapter segment, please like it, please share it, please subscribe to this channel. That helps us all build this community. Once again, I am Janelle Rhiannon. I am the author of the Homeric Chronicles, a Greek mythology and Trojan War retelling from beginning to end. Like, it's all in there. And anyway, thank you, and I will see you next time.